Hello everybody, I am here once again with Jackal Gold Kick.
Yeah, Jackal Gold Kick here. We are going to be reviewing 44108 album by rapper Kingship.
Kingship is a new face for me at first, but it's the new name of Chip the Ripper, whom I only heard one freestyle from on a video a few years back, which became a minor internet meme since then. Anyways, his new persona King Chip is the next level, I assume. The album name itself is a zip code in East Cleveland, which is where Chip is from. Oh, that's right, you want to hear what I think about the album? Well, relax ladies and gentlemen, because here we go.
Let's get to reviewing it. It's got 18 songs. We're going to review the deluxe album version, of course, because we want everything it's got. So the first track on the album is Walking Home. This is a really good song. It's got a really good beat on it. It's got some good lyrics. It's got some good rapping and everything along with it. I really do like it. I just wish it was longer though, but yeah, I really do like Walking Home. It's a pretty cool, aggressive song. It's a good intro for an album.
First track on the album is the intro track titled Walking Home. This track has a dark, almost horror-themed beat to it. This is the intro track to the deluxe album, and it is my belief that intro tracks are giving you a taste of what to expect on the whole album, similar to a movie trailer. Walking Home has one simple topic: walking home. Now that may sound boring for a song, but you have to remember this one fact. The neighborhood Chip describes is in its simplest terms a ghetto, meaning constant presence of violence, you always look over your shoulder, and not trusting anyone. Chip really puts all these emotions into words in this song. He explodes the moment into a 2-minute and 17-second intro track that not only puts into great detail what he's describing, but it also has the power to make people who don't understand what it's like get a good vision of what it's like. The background tune is very well done as well. If there was one thing I'd say was on a negative of this song, it's too short. I know it's an intro track, but if it was longer, it would be that much better. So therefore, the intro track gets a score of 9 out of 10.
Track 2 is Old English feat. Travis Scott. This is a pretty good song as well. It's got a pretty good hook. Travis Hook, his voice kind of makes me cringe, I'll be honest, so I'm not really used to his part. I'm not really a big fan of when he raps on it. But overall, Old English is a good song. Kingship has a pretty good verse. Travis Scott voice kind of makes me cringe, but he's okay in the song. So Old English is pretty good. It's got good production on it. So yeah, that's a good track as well.
Second track on the album is titled Old English featuring Travis Scott. The track opens with the chorus, and if there's auto-tune here, it's been very well done on the chorus. The drum beat is your typical drum beat, but it's really the sample here that gets my attention. King Chip sampled Returns the King by Tyler Bates for the 300 soundtrack. I love 300, great male pandering and bloody action. King Chip not only sampled the choir from that, but he even sampled it so skillfully that he didn't drive home the fact that he sampled it. It isn't sticking out like a sore thumb, it's actually well woven into the track. The lyrics are typical. I really don't mind them given the beat, but they're nothing special at first or second listens, really. The chorus would be perfect for a party song, but the tune is too dark for that. That's like saying I had a good day at the fair today while being surrounded by starving children. It's out of place, even if you had a good time with it. The best thing about the song is obviously the instrumental. It's very good. So overall, the song is really good. Who am I kidding? It's awesome. The sampling is awesome. The flow is very good too. It's very different and fresh, and it's making my list of the top songs I've heard over the summer. It's that good. I'll give this a 9 out of 10.
Track 3 is Money and Fame. This is a good song as well. It's got a really heavy beat on it. King Chip goes into the detail of talking about how even with the money and fame and you being famous, you're still a bitch, and that doesn't change it, and that is true because, you know, if a serial killer got money and fame and became a rapper, would he still be a piece of shit? Yes, he would. That's what's pretty much implying, is that with that money and fame, that still doesn't change you from the real bitch you are, you know, those fake people he's talking about and stuff. So track 3, Money and Fame, I thought it was pretty good. King Chip had some pretty good verses on it.
Third song on the album is titled Money and Fame. My first thought was back to DJ Bay's Gotta Flex, and in some ways it's very similar. Both songs slam the fakers, both songs reference money and fame, and both have a similar flow. I won't compare the two though, because this is a Chip album and not a Bay album. Anyways, Chip details the fakers in the rap game, and quite a few times brings up the point that even though the recipient brags about being rich, their friends don't look that rich. This is based on the point that most gangster rappers are trying to provide for their family/friends in the same neighborhood. A noble goal all around. Chip notices that this guy, though, doesn't do that. I wonder how many other rappers that can apply to. He has a hint of contempt in his voice, too. It helps to support the message, but this is just a minor support. The beat is simple, and all I can say is that it's holding up the song. It does nothing spectacular, but it does its part. Overall, it's a 6 out of 10.
7 a.m. on St. Clair. Now, some of the lyrics on here I don't like because it's got a little bit of the mainstream lyrics. Like, King Chip has a pretty okay verse, But Ray Cash is featured on the song. I have a little bit of a problem with Ray Cash. You see, his some of his lyrics are just way too mainstream. Like some of Ray Cash's lyrics I've already heard from other rappers, so it doesn't really add anything new to the track. The track's okay, I guess. I really only like the hook in the song, and I like the beat mixed in with the hook. I think the beat sounds like something from Sonic. I don't know, that sound in the hook of the beat. It's like some kind of Sonic sound. I wish I could figure out what those are and where they get those kind of beats from. But that hook with the beat, it sounds like a Sonic type beat. So I like the hook. King Chip's verse okay, but Ray Cash, not a big fan of his part.
The fourth track on this album is titled 7am on St. Clair, and again, I believe it's about life in his neighborhood. The tune for this song reminds me of Vaporwave for some strange reason, and I can't say I've liked Vaporwave either. I've used the song once or twice in videos, but that's because I wanted to replicate elevator music. And sadly, that doesn't make me like this song anymore. I understand that this sound has been in rap for quite a while. In fact, it's more of a classic rap theme, but to me it doesn't make it any better sounding. Chip's verse is mainly bragging about how cool he is and how other people try and use him. I'll say this right here, 4 songs into this album, and if that's the extent of our lyrical capacity, I'm not gonna like the other 14 songs, just saying that. First 2 songs were alright, but Money and Fame and this one don't seem too good compared to those. His collaborator, Ray Cash, however, sounds good to the ears, not too harsh or anything, a good compliment to Chip in this track. Overall, 6 out of 10. I feel like this is the start of a downhill trend though, there's nothing too special about this track either. I wouldn't expect AAA masterpieces, but something different is needed about this album to keep it from being a generic album. And if there's one thing that doesn't earn you any bonus respect, it's being generic. Luckily, Old English and Walking Home are standouts.
Track 5 is Black on Black. This is a good song as well. Another banger, talking about how everything's black on black. King Chip has some pretty good rap verses, pretty good hook, and some pretty good production on the song as well. So I really thought Black on Black was a good song by King Chip.
The 5th track is titled BLK on BOK, and from my previous rhyme in Old English, I take that to mean black on black. I could not find a good lyric site that supplied the lyrics to this song, but I didn't even need to, because the phrase black on black is hammered into my brain, complete with what I think is a different beat, but I can't tell anymore because the repeated chanting is driving me insane. The tune didn't strike any good feeling with me either, in fact it gave me a headache as I went further towards the end. And the fact that I have no lyrics page is bad, because in here, Chip raps so fast I can't understand him that well. It's not that fast, but it's quick enough to throw me off. I'm sorry, but the track does not appeal that much, plus it's starting to drive me crazy. It gets a 3 out of 10.
Track 6 is Crown. This is a good song. It talks about how he wants the crown. Now, I know King Chip on some of these songs on this album, he's on that mainstream gangster, fuck bitches shit, but I'm gonna have to say this, at least he puts effort when he talks about it, because there's a lot of rappers in mainstream that when they do this type of rap, they don't even put effort in it. If you want to talk about the same shit, at least put effort in it. They don't. At least King Chip, when he does this type of rap where he's braggadocious or talking about fucking bitches or getting money, at least he puts effort into it. At least he doesn't use auto-tune, which I gotta give him a point for that, man. So Crown was an okay song. Like I said, some of the lyrics I got turned off by because I've heard them so much from other rappers and mainstream artists. But I gotta give them a point for actually putting effort into rapping instead of just half-assing and using auto-tune. So that track's okay.
The 6th track is titled Crown. Now, before you listen to this track, guys, imagine the first thing that comes into your head when you think of Crown, okay? Now listen to that track and tell me if it was anything like what you thought it was. Sure enough, this song is about, you guessed it, blowjobs. We already have Whistle, Chip. First of all, I wouldn't mind it myself, but hearing about it in the song isn't really an appealing thing, especially with the common rap theme of objectification. I don't want to hear about all the different girls you want sucking your donkey donk. I want to hear a song, Chip. The lyrics even include a verse that goes, her friend is Norwegian. That means she's from Norway. What are you, teaching 3rd graders geography? And if so, do you really have to force Olga to suck it while you are? At least the tune and beat seem to fit it, with how sinister it sounds. It's a tune you'd normally find in gangster rap, though. I find it odd how he says he doesn't care what race the girl is. So, we as men don't care anyway so long as the cow is milked.
For the record, some do.
Overall, this track has a 2 out of 10. Yeah, a 2. I mean really, do we have to hear this? I know this is a rap album, but you can make a good track without an overly sexual song.
Track 7 is Queen. Not a big fan of the song. Can't relate to it, and the singing near the end throws me off, so I'm not a big fan of Queen. I think that this song, only girls that are gangsters, like girl gangsters from the hood and stuff, would only feel this song as King Chip stated. in the song. So I'm not really a big fan of the Queen song. I mean, it's got a pretty good instrumental on it, but I'm not really feeling it because I can't relate to it. And the singing near the end throws me off. I just don't like that type of singing. So not a big fan of track 7, Queen.
The seventh track is titled Queen. Given that Queen is just after Crown, I assumed originally that this was the anaconda to Crown if Crown was Baby Got Back. Again, I couldn't find Queen on a reliable lyrics site, but at least I could understand him. I like to think of this as the sequel to Crown. He has about 7 different girls suck his donger, and then chooses his favorite to be the Queen if he was King Chip. I get it now! And this one is more of a wow this girl is awesome song, but it still has a fair amount of sex layered on top of it. It's not that bad though, at least it's about the girl in question rather than just Chip. It has a tune mixing rap and royal court music? Whatever the case, it fits it. Also, it includes the phrase black on black again. You're making LMFAO look clever. Is this going to be a catchphrase? Oh yeah, the track. Well, the track gets a 6 out of 10.
Track 8 is Activist. This is the best song on the album. This is probably the best song by King Chip. It's the best produced song by King Chip. It's an amazing song. It's the first one I heard. It's got really a good... the production on it is amazing. It's really kind of dark and eerie, I guess. Really good hook. Some pretty good rapping. Talks about his homeboy Hawk, which he mentions a lot in this album. His friend Hawk, who got shot by some gangbangers, I think, in like 2011 or something. So he talks about him on the song. So Activist, pretty good song. His best song. It's the best produced song I've heard from King Chip. It's got really good rapping on it. It's got a badass hook on it. So yeah, track 8 Activist, fucking A+, Z+, good song.
8th track is titled Activist. Activist is the name of a medication company. First off, I love the product placement. Secondly, I think Chip is running out of ideas. This is track 8, we're almost halfway through this, and we got ourselves a drug song. Is there anything else? Why not something else like Walking Home, which was meaningful and carried a message? What about the ongoing racism issue? An actual activism song, something. But no, Chip is content with making a song about Purple Sprite. The tune and beat are good, and that's about it. Nothing really special. It supports the song, it just doesn't do anything truly special. Overall, it's not too bad, but 5 out of 10, because I'm not feeling like this album holds any more songs like Old English or Walkin' Home, which are some of the best tracks in this album so far to me. Call me picky, but those are the only things that stood out. I know you have to be well-rounded, and I know I'm being childish, but if you had more moving songs, then now's the time to place them here, because I'm getting bored with this album. Not a good thing.
Track 9 is If I Die Today, feat Scarface, Papa Roo, and MJG. I thought this was a pretty good song. It had to grow on me because Papa Roo on the hook, that type of Jamaican type voice for songs, I usually don't like, but it grew on me, so I think this is a pretty good song. Scarface delivers a pretty good verse. I really do like Scarface's voice. It really stands out in hip-hop. It's a really unique voice. MJG has a pretty good verse as well. He has a pretty good voice as well. And King Chip had a good verse as well, and it's got some good production. So Scarface, MJG, and King Chip all had a good verse in the song. And yeah, I think If I Die Today with Scarface, Papa Roo on the hook, and MJG with the last verse, I think they did a pretty good job with If I Die Today. Good song.
9th track is titled If I Die Today, featuring Scarface, Papa Roo, and MJG. When you look at the title, you know it's going to be a wake-up call after the slowness and sleepiness of the previous tunes. 4 artists on one song, this will be different sounding, right? And it is. It is different sounding. Scarface gets the first verse, and he seems to pull no punches when he presents those rhymes. He even sounds aggressive on this one. Scarface alone sells it that this is gangster rap. The chorus is sung by Papa Roo. It details how if he dies today, he will be at the top of what he did, and nobody's gonna reach him. And that's a good message in some ways. It inspires some self-confidence if you take it a certain way. The beat is good too. Good bass in there and supports the point of the song quite well along with the tune. MJG's verse in the song, however, is nothing special. You'd think with Scarface leading this thing, he'd inspire confidence in the listener, and then MJG ends it with me going, meh. Overall, the song gets an 8 out of 10 though, joining the first 2 tracks on the best songs of the album in my opinion. It's big, it's aggressive, it's true.
Track 10 is Stand Up King. This song's pretty good. It's only 2 minutes. I wish it was kind of longer, but it's a pretty good song. I like how he talks about fake people and how he's a stand-up king and stuff. And yeah, I really do like the song Stand Up King. It's got good rapping on it, good beat, good production. And it's also connected to another song I'm talking about in a minute. But yeah, Stand Up King, I thought it was a very good song. Good rapping on it, good beat, good hook. And then the other song that's connected to it is Another You remix, which is basically a remix of a Tony Williams song called Another You remix, which I thought this was a pretty good song, pretty good singing, pretty good hook. Um, it's got some, it's got two features on here that I'm surprised by, which is Freddie Gibbs and Kanye West. I thought King Chip did a pretty good job with his two verses. Freddie Gibbs did a pretty good job. Kanye West did a pretty decent job with his verse. I felt like he was kind of lazy with his verse. Like, in parts of his verse, he sounded a little bit lazy, like he was just not even trying. But you know what? That everybody on the song did a good job overall. Another You remix, is really good. Good production, good singing, good verses from all. I just wish Kanye West would put more energy into his verse. But overall, good song.
10th track is titled Stand Up King. It's almost a copy of Money and Fame, if not a direct copy. It addresses the same topics, but here Chip is saying in addition that he's the real deal, demanding that the faker bow to him, essentially. It's too bad that this was done before in Money and Fame, because I'd have the same feelings about this song as I did towards Money and Fame. And I know I say that as long as you sound good while doing something the same as someone, you're fine in my eyes, but that doesn't apply if you're the same person copying your own previous song. It's a strong negative. It shows how you're struggling to fill the album. It's not good. Here it's really showing that he's just adding filler, and so it's a 3 out of 10 in my perspective.
Track 11 is Vortex feat Kid Cudi and Pusha T. Now, I have a few things wrong with this song. I'm a big fan of Kid Cudi, but I feel like this is possibly the weakest feature he's ever done. I feel like he just wasn't that good with the singing on here. I felt like he could have done better with the singing on this hook. I felt like Kid Cudi didn't do as good with the, he didn't really do. I know he can do better with singing. So I don't think he really did good on this song Vortex. I think Pusha T had a pretty good verse. Like I said, Pusha T is another guy that has a really good voice in hip hop. It's energetic and it stands out. So, I thought the song was okay. My favorite part about it is probably the beat. Pusha T and King Chip has pretty good verses, but I'm kind of disappointed with Kid Cudi's feature because I know he can sing better than this, and this is possibly his weakest collaboration I've heard. So, Vortex is an okay song. King Chip and Pusha T have good verses, but Kid Cudi doesn't really blow me away with this feature, but it's all right, I guess.
11th track on this album is titled Vortex, featuring Kid Cudi and Pusha T. Kid Cudi I heard on Pursuit of Happiness when I was searching for anything MGMT related. Pusha T I heard from Runaway by Kanye. Two artists who I've heard very little from are on a track with King Chip. So far I've heard over half an album of. The beat is different, dare I say alternative, and Kid Cudi pulls off the hook well. It's a sex song, but at least it's not on the extreme side like BOTDF. On a calmer side, like Pitbull. Pusha T is Pusha T. He goes with the song how it should go, so nothing real good or bad is done here. Okay, scratch that. He does offer everything in form of nice things for the girl he wants to bang. Am I the only person who finds something wrong with this? The girl isn't worth thousands of dollars, and if that's what it takes to get a girl, you've got the wrong girl. There's something you need to know about me. I hate listening to the same stuff by either the same or different artists when it comes to rap and pop. Dubstep and metal is fine. To me, the vocals are not direct concerns in those songs, it's the tune. However, with genres that are specifically centered around vocals, I can't stand it. Some notable inclusions are indie music as well. I'll explain more soon. Anyways, Chip's verse here is another instance where with a little more effort, he could have made it stand out. I thought it was his album, but usually it's on the collab tracks where the others take it over. Overall, the song is a mixed bag. I like Kid Cudi's vocals here and the beat, but Pusha T's lyrics and Chip's verse are on the downside, so 5 out of 10.
Track 12 is Police in the Trunk. Very good song. Very fun to listen to. Talks about stuff in police in the trunk. Talking shit about cops. He's got some good verses on here. He's got a good beat. He's got some good rapping on here and a good hook as well. So overall, I thought track 12, Police in the Trunk, was a good song about stuffing cops in the trunk. And it was just a good, aggressive song to listen to if you like that. So that's a good song.
Number 12 is titled Police in the Trunk. When the song started, I instantly thought New Slaves. The intro tune is very similar. However, that's short-lived. In fact, while listening to the whole song, I really wanted nothing more than to listen to New Slaves, because I was sitting through a track exclusively about killing cops. The reasons for Chip's aggression are not apparent until the very, very end of the song, but I'm not a hardcore gangster rap person if you can call it that. If you don't regard this as hardcore at all, then regard this as its proper genre. Whatever it is, I still wouldn't like this song either way. The most comedic thing I can take out of this is that it's a response to I'll Be Watching You by the Police. It's gangster rap to the best definition. It's also filler to the best definition. I feel like I should be giving this a 7 out of 10 for at least being sufficient for being a steady track. But no, I don't even know why I dislike the track so much. So I'll compromise between two feelings and say 4 out of 10. At this rate, you're noticing that the scores are declining as I go further into the album. This is because I'm simply losing interest in what King Chip is providing. It seems like he's putting the strongest songs at the front and then said,
Man, we need a few more songs for the deluxe. Let's add some scrap studio recordings with some better quality songs sprinkled throughout the deluxe.
I'm being perfectly honest, this album is boring me to death. In fact, let me give 3 more scores for the rest of the songs ahead of me so I don't bore you. I'm sorry, Jackal, I just give up. This album is actually making me tap out. Anyways, the scores are... No, you know what? Let's finish this. I'm pressing on, not giving up. You know why? Because the top 4 tracks here are inspiring enough to encourage me to search for more. I must press on.
Track 13 is Action Plan feat. Loreen Chia. This is a pretty good song as well. Loreen Chia has a pretty weird voice. Her verse on here is a pretty weird voice. I think she did a pretty good job with her verse. And I like King Chip verses as well. I like how King Chip goes into depth about how the world lied to him about the Bible and other stuff, and how he fears no man. And Loreen, the female rapper, she had a pretty good verse at the beginning, so I thought Action Plan was pretty good. It had a good beat, it had a really good hook on it. Good verses from Loreen Chia and King Chip.
13's track is titled Action Plan, featuring Loreen Chia. The tune goes exactly how I predicted it would go. I knew beforehand how the structure would be without even listening to it. 5 chords. I'm not familiar with Loreen Chia. In fact, a majority of these artists I am not familiar with, but Loreen is the only female featured artist here. Her voice is adequate, I'd say that. It's not bad, but it isn't extraordinary either. It's there. Overall, I have no strong feelings about the song. It's filler, but I don't dislike it for that. I'm giving it the most even-handed score possible. 5 out of 10.
Track 14 is A Nigga Shot Me. This is a good song as well. It's a really cool topic for King Chip. It's basically about him going to sleep and dreaming about getting shot, and his dream is basically him going to shoot the person who killed Hawk, and he ends up getting shot, and then he wakes up and finds out he wasn't killed. So it's pretty much a concept about how he got shot in a dream and all that stuff. So I thought A Nigga Shot Me was a pretty good song. Good beat, good hook, good rapping verses from King Chip.
14th track is titled There Shot Me. Sorry, but me being raised the way I was, I can't bring myself to say it. Nor will I ever casually, so before you egg me on, no, I won't. The song starts out weird. I can't tell if this was supposed to be happy or sad or scary or what. He wakes up and thinks someone shot him, but it was only a nightmare. Oh, and might I add that when he says nightmare, his voice goes into a head-lowering dip,
Complete with auto.
It sounds awful. There's a vanillish sound effect on this track, which I somewhat like. It adds something else to this otherwise bland track. Yeah, I called it bland. I really don't know what to think. We're exiting this album, so what's my score?
7 out of 10.
Track 15 is Young Niggas. This is a pretty good song as well. I see this as like a freestyle track because it's not really that long. It's pretty short, but it's a pretty good short song. It's got a pretty good beat on it, some pretty good rapping from King Chip, and a pretty good intro on Young Niggas. It's like some guy talking. So, yeah, Young Niggas is a pretty good song too.
Jesus, Hoodie Allen advertisements on each video in this play songs from. I don't want to listen to him. Stop advertising him. I don't think he's good. The 15th track on this album is titled Young Guys. Nope, not saying it. It opens with not a tune, but audio from what you expect from an interview or vlog or something. Then suddenly the song starts. What's the purpose? I understand setting the premise for the song, but all he really says is, I'm real. And then the song starts. A lot of N-word droppage here. I mean, it's a chorus, what do you expect? But I really don't see the point of this song. They're young and carrying guns, and I fail to see any real thing to understand from this. It's 4 out of 10.
Track 16 is WWNWHNM, which I'm not going to call it that. In reality, track 16 is called I Wonder When You Niggas Won't Hate No More, which is another good song he did because it really makes me laugh at haters now, and it really opens my eyes about haters because the track goes into depth about haters and how they really are and how jealous they are, and it's a good hater song. You know, I wish rappers would do hater songs like this instead of just telling them to fuck off. They actually expose them and tell the truth about haters and tell them to go do your shit. Why the fuck you keep hating on me? Why don't you go do your own grind and shit? So I thought Wonder When You Niggas Won't Hate No More was a very good song on this album. Good beat, good rapping, good hook on it, man.
The 16th track is titled WWNWHNM. The abbreviation is Wonder When You Know It Won't Hate No More. The title suggests one word: haters. Yeah, I guess right for this one. Basically, he's saying, hey, stop hating on me for my success, and how about try for yourself to see how it's like? If I follow by that message throughout the whole song, then the song is quite good. I am willing to ignore the typical beat and tune just for that message. 7 out of 10. I know, this is a very, very short review of this track, but just like how King Chip is running out of topics, I'm running out of words to describe this stuff.
Track 17 is Thornhill Drive. Not a big fan of this song. I wasn't feeling the beat's okay, but I wasn't really feeling the rapping on it or the hook. So yeah, I'm not really a fan of Thornhill Drive. I'm not even a fan of the song that's mixed in with it called Us Versus Them, which is basically, I guess, like a chilled type song. So both of the songs mixed in, because this is another song where we mix another song in. I'm not really feeling both of these songs. I'm not really feeling the rapping, especially the vocals on the Us Versus Them song. After Thornhill Drive is done, another song comes on. I'm not really feeling the vocals on it at all. I think it could have done better. So, not really feeling that song.
17th track is titled Thornhill Drive, Us Versus Them. Like Young Blah, Thornhill Drive begins with someone talking. It doesn't even last for 3 seconds though. It was quite pointless to say the least. It then opens to the beat and tune, which is pretty good. It teases me constantly in my favor of Old English, and the lyrics detail a street war between the cops and the gang at Thornhill Drive. Everything holds up well. You'd think I'd be sick of this, but it's not Police in the Trunk where I have no tune to fall back on. This one has a very good tune supporting it, and for that, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
Track 18 is Fresh at My Funeral feat. GLC and Chevy Woods. I thought this was a pretty good song, pretty good beat, pretty good hook. I thought King Chip had a good verse. I thought GLC had a good verse, and I thought Chevy Woods had a good verse, and I thought they all did a good job on the song.
The final track of the album is titled Fresh at My Funeral, featuring GLC and Chevy Woods. This is an outro from the album, and for this one, King Chip is basically saying, I hope you had a good time, with how he handles this song. I'm not really paying attention to the lyrics now, because my main topic is the overall feel here. King Chip's flow is good, it's steady, it is a very good compliment. Is it bragging somewhat? If you consider it bragging, yes, but I find it to be relatively modest with the rest of the songs here. GLC's verse is steady too. It's like he's a perfect support. Same with Chevy Woods. They all did well with their flow here. The tune reminds me of 7 AM on St. Clair, and yes, I can forgive it for that. It's more of a feel-good song if you don't pay attention to lyrics that much. Am I sounding lazy? That's because as I finish listening to this album, I am burned out.
So overall, I give King Chip's 44108 album an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a pretty good album. There's a few songs I didn't like. I had a few problems with 7 AM on St. Clair. I didn't like Queen. I had a few problems with Crown. I wasn't a big fan of Vortex, but I like the beat and the rapping is pretty good, I guess. And I wasn't a big fan of Thornhill Drive, but I still got to give it an 8 out of 10, even with those songs I don't like, because I like more songs on here than I hate. So I thought the album was pretty good for a gangster rap album, you know. Like I said, I don't like Thornhill Drive. I don't like Us Versus Them. I don't like Vortex a lot. It's okay. I don't like Queen, and I have problems with 7 AM on St. Clair. But overall, I give it an 8 out of 10. I think King Chip does a really good job in terms of gangster rap and what I hear in mainstream, because he actually puts effort when he raps, and that's the point. He actually puts effort when he raps. I thought this album was very well produced. He put effort into this album instead of just using auto-tune or just half-assing his rhymes. A lot of the collaborations on here were very good. A lot of them were kind of lackluster, but most of the collaborations were really good. You know, if you like gangster rap, I'd recommend checking this album out. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. I thought 44108 by King Chip was a very good album. I recommend listening to it. Yeah, I thought it was an 8 out of 10. Good gangster rap album, and I enjoyed it.
The final score for this album? I felt like I was sitting through easy listening at times, except flipped to where listening was quite hard to do without taking my headset off. The bland, bad songs are very much letdowns, and the good songs are good. Very good. I know I've said this many times before, I absolutely loved Old English and Walking Home, along with If I Die Today. Those were my top 3 tracks on this album. Old English has very good replay value, Walking Home has a very good message, and If I Die Today has that aggressiveness from Scarface. I only wish the other 11 tracks had things that made them unique. I didn't feel like I was listening to a New Guy or King Chip. I felt like I was listening to Chip the Ripper's freestyle with different tunes and lyrics. Once again, thank you Jackal Gold Kick for inviting me onto this review. I've had an interesting time to say the least, and I'm very glad we took time on this one before reviewing. And to all of you watching this video right now, thank you for doing so.